AOL came along in the 1980s and started with a very walled garden model. You dialed up to a server and you went straight to AOL. And that persisted for quite a while until there was pressure coming from the users of AOL to make it accessible through the internet. And so as time went on, there was more and more pressure for them to open up so that they were accessible to people who had already gotten service on the commercial internet. The same thing happened with the proprietary networking protocols. IBM clung to SNA for quite a while, but they were forced by their customers, as was Digital Equipment Corporation and Hewlett-Packard, to adopt and use the internet technology because the users didn't want to be locked in to a particular brand of computer and a particular brand of networking. So those examples lead me to believe that you can't stay locked in to a closed environment for very long before people will start demanding that it open up so that it becomes more interoperable with everything else. Now that's a speculation. We'll have to wait and see what actually happens in the case of Facebook. I do have a Facebook page, and I tried an experiment when Facebook was first announced by saying yes to anyone who wanted to befriend me. And because I was curious to see, well, how many friends would you end up with? And after a while, there were a lot of them. And then people were sending me notes saying that Facebook is responding when I try to friend you by sending a message saying Vint Cerf has too many friends. And I thought that was a personal insult. And so as it happened, the COO of Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg, is a former Google employee, so I knew who she was. And I sent a note complaining that I had been insulted, mortally insulted by the Facebook program that said I had too many friends. On the other hand, the side effect of that experiment was an avalanche of information about what all these friends were doing that I honestly didn't care about. So this led me to think, there has to be a better way to manage this whole process. And although I take absolutely no credit for Google+, one of the side effects of seeing that pattern in Facebook, I think, led us to the circle idea, which gave people a little more control over with whom they were interacting and what information they were exchanging with them, so that you at least have the possibility of limiting where information goes and to whom. I think that is an evolutionary example of the way in which we, not Google, but we as a population of users, will probably want to move, which is to find ways of being more thoughtful about what information we want and who we listen to and who we follow. The tweeting world, which has a following capability, and it gives you the option of deciding who you want to follow. But that's another very interesting proposition. My first reactions were the kinds of things I saw on Twitter didn't look very interesting. I didn't care if somebody put on their Adidas and ran down and had their muesli at such and such. On the other hand, two things about the mechanism have attracted me. One of them is that even though it's a very short string, you can put URLs in them. And the side effect of that is that that little short string and the mechanism that distributes it lets you reach into this gigantic expanse of content on the internet. So linking the tweeting capability with the contents of the internet is actually quite powerful. The second thing that caught my eye, of course, is that in an emergency, being able to reach a large number of people quickly with information or pointing them to information is actually a very powerful tool.